Hi, thanks for joining us for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South. I'm Chris Cooper. Onions are a great garden vegetable and they store well. Today we're talking about growing onions. Also, do you have an annual you don't want to lose in the frost? Just take a cutting and you can enjoy it all winter and next year too. That's just ahead on the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South.
Production funding for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South is provided by the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to the Family Plot. I'm Chris Cooper. Joining me today is Walter Battle. Walter is the UT County Director in Haywood County, and Dr. Kelly is here. Dr. Kelly is our horticulture expert. Thanks for being with us today.
Glad to be here.
Yes, happy to be here.
All right, Walter, I can smell something on the table here.
Yes.
It smells like onions a little bit, you know?
Oh, yes, yes. And I'll tell you, Chris, I must say, I am an onion freak. I'm just here to tell you, I absolutely love them. I mean, they're just a very versatile vegetable that you can use as far as cooking and all of that. And since I have to do all the cooking at the house, I've just learned to love them.
Okay.
To tell you.
Well, we have the right man for the job to talk about onions then, right?
Hopefully, yes.
All right. Well, we have some questions for you about those onions there, Walter. So when are onions planted?
Well, here in the Mid-South area, and I'm mainly talking about the Memphis area.
Okay.
I would say usually February and early March. It's usually one of our very first vegetables that we put out there. Okay. Each year. So you go out there. It kind of gets me fired up for the growing season because I'm like, hey, I can finally go out here and throw me up, as old folks say, throw me up some onion rows and start planting. So hey, I'm ready to go now. And I'm just looking forward for the weather to get warmer at that point. But I know I have my onions.
All right. So what about frost though? Do we need to pay attention to frost dates? If somebody's watching this over in East Tennessee or?
Well, basically, since we plant them so early, they usually gonna come through most frost dates anyway. Now, I know Dr. Kelly informed me before we came on air that zone 7 is?
It's April 10th.
April 10th.
Okay. Usually kind of the marginal, after April the 10th in zone 7, we should be frost free based on prior data. Okay. So, but we could always get something strange happening.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Okay. So does it matter how far apart you set the bulbs?
Yes. Now, if you're gonna, grow your onions for what we call bunch onions or spring onions, you want to set them about 2 inches apart from each other. Because obviously we're gonna get the little small heads here. But now, if you're gonna wait and grow them as for dry onions or whatever, then you'll want to set them probably about 6 to 8 inches apart. Okay. Because some of these can get kind of big. And if I'm want to have a good hamburger, I want me a nice big onion on that hamburger. But that's basically how you can plant them. Okay. And also, even the onions that we grow for dry onions, you can pull them early as green onions. It's just kind of up to you to do that as the gardener. That's kind of your choice. So some people plant them kind of thick and knowing that they're going to pull some out and leave some there to grow later for, the dry onions. So it just kind of depends.
Okay. How long to harvest? So most folks want to know, right?
Yes. Basically, if you're looking to harvest them for green onions, you're probably looking at about, I'm going to say 60 days, probably what you're looking at. So if you set them in March, April, May, so you should be getting some green onions by then to chop up and put in your turnip greens and all those good things. Right. And also to put in your salads. I like slicing these green tops here just to, put in my salads as well. And now, of course, if you're going to wait a little later and have them grow for the dry onions, then obviously you'll be pulling those around, I would say mid-June is probably when a lot of them come off around our area.
Okay. So how can you tell when they're ready though?
Okay, as far as for the green onions, when you go out early in the spring and want to pull some, you just basically kind of just pull them up. And if you see that they're the size that you want, hey, you start getting them. Now, if you're going to wait till later in the summer when you're growing them for the dry onions, obviously, the green parts will kind of fall over and flip over And you can just kind of tell because they'll be pushed up kind of near the soil edge. And again, just pull a few of them out. It'll be probably around mid-June. And you can just harvest them then and prepare to dry them out for cooking.
Okay. All right, so how do you prepare dry onions for storage?
Okay, well, once again, you know, you go out there and you'll kind of see, they'll start, you know, obviously pushed up near the soil. The green tops have fallen over, so you pull them out. And what I did, I saved an old patio circular table that has the, you know, the wire grid.
Yeah.
And I put that in the garage and I just pull them on there and I just lay them on there. And I'm going to say I keep them there for about, I guess 3 or 4 weeks in the garage. Seems like I get good air circulation in there because I always have my garage door up a lot of times.
You don't wash them.
No, don't wash them.
Don't
Please
wash
do
'em.
not wash
Yeah.
them. And you'll just kind of see them. They'll begin to, you know, they'll tighten down just like this one has, you know, tightened down. And pretty much they're good to go. Now, at that point, you may say, well, hey, how do I store them?
Right.
You know, I know that's usually a big question. And I keep mine pretty much out there in the garage. But those when I bring them in, I put some up under the kitchen sink. Just throw them up under there. But now the old timers, I remember my grandmother, she used to put them in stockings. And you would just see stockings hanging all throughout.
Yeah.
I've seen that before, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, but the main thing is, you know, don't put them near water and moisture because you're just going to get those funguses on there.
What about varieties? Do you have a favorite variety?
Not really. I'll be honest with you. I just buy whatever they have at the garden center. I don't know if it's just where I live. We just don't get a lot of different varieties in those stores. You know, I don't know. But I will say this: when it comes to the dry varieties, I do like the Texas 1015. I love that variety. It's a sweet onion that grows well here in our climate. I mean, this is one right here, and they're very, very good. And I also get this question a lot. I know that the Vidalia onion is known for its sweetness and all of that. And a lot of people say, hey, I go to the store and I bought some of those onion sets, but my Vidalias didn't turn out to be sweet like the ones that I buy.
From Georgia.
And I think it has something, and maybe Dr. Kelly or Dr. Cooper can tell me, I think it has something to do with the soil type down there in that area.
That's what I've always
it is.
heard, That's what the true Vidalia onions from Georgia, they're not really, they say they're not really the real Vidalias unless they're grown in the soil of Georgia, in Vidalia, Georgia.
Oh, okay, well,
So,
It's definitely soil type.
it's definitely soil type. So,
apparently, that's what they say anyway.
So, you know, I don't know.
Right. Well, speaking of soil, what type of soils do onions prefer?
Well, actually, from a pH standpoint, they like a 7, a neutral soil, but it goes back even down to about 6.6, 6.5 to 7, so slightly acidic to what we call, I guess, basic soil. So that's kind of what they like. And they also like a good, they like to be rich up. They don't like to be, you know, what we call wet feed or whatever, you know, just planted where they get a lot of water. They like to be, you know, like to drain off. And you want a soil with good tilth, you know, good organic matter in it, and they'll do fine for you.
Okay. Any fertilizer we need to put down?
Usually with the ones I grow at home, I might go out there and put like a 1010 or something like that on there. But I usually have pretty good success with growing them there at my home garden.
Okay, must be some good soil down there in Haywood County. Now, what about diseases or insects that we need to be concerned about?
Well, I would say as an extension agent, I've never really ran up on any in our area, but there is an onion maggot that I've read about, and they say it's pretty destructive, but seems like I read more about it up in the East Coast side.
We don't tend to have that problem with the maggot here.
Yes. We tend not to have anything here, so I haven't ran across it.
I have not either.
So
okay.
I think here in our area we're fine.
I think we're good. Okay. Well, we appreciate that good information about onions.
Yes, well, like I say,
we can tell you like onions.
Oh, I love them. I absolutely love them. Yes.
Good deal. All right.
Next time, bring onion dip.
Okay, you got it.
There are a number of gardening events going on in the next couple of weeks. Here are just a few that might interest you. All right, Dr. Kelly, easy techniques to root cuttings of some of our
Easy
favorite
and
annuals.
cheap.
And we like easy and cheap.
Exactly.
Right.
Do-it-yourself little projects that we can do. And every year we have favorite really pretty plants that are annuals that we get. And they do really good, and we always are like, oh golly, I wish I could keep that over the winter. But mostly we don't have places to bring in these giant big old plants like hibiscus, the big old tropical hibiscus, or the big pretty geraniums that have just done beautifully all summer, or big old impatiens or coleus, or some of these others that just really look nice, and we're like, oh gee, I wish I could keep that for next summer. And there's a way to do that. Most of these plants root really, really easily. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I think I'm going to demonstrate, I guess, first the coleus. And, of course you've got coleus, they're huge.
Right.
In your garden. So you just pick a terminal, and you come in, and this little cheap knife, I was telling y'all they're really, really cheap. And I usually keep a bunch of these around the garden or different places where I can find them. But then you just go in and you just pinch that dude off or cut it off. And what you'll want to do is to, of course, remove these lower leaves. Because when you put it in the soil, those are probably going to be below the soil level, and they're going to rot and fall off and not be a good thing. So actually, I just usually just take my fingernails and pinch those off. So see, now we've got a cutting of our little coleus. And what I do is I travel some, and in motel or hotel rooms, in the bathroom, they always give you this shower cap, and who wears the shower caps anymore? So I just have collected these. I've got like a gazillion of them at home. And what I do is I use these to make me a little mini greenhouse. And I'm going to show you that first.
How smart is that, though?
Yeah, really. So here's my impatiens that I have already stuck prior, about a week ago. I did these about a week ago.
Okay.
So they have, actually, I think a couple of them have roots, but I'm not going to pull it out. But I did this about a week ago, and I've just got regular soil mix in there. And then I just took some prunings from some of my plants and made me some, these are like my, what do we call that? The frame of my greenhouse.
Okay. All right.
And of course, when you take a cutting, you want to, it's got no roots. So you've got to keep the moisture in the leaves until it can, so it won't dry out, as we talked in some of the previous segments about desiccation. So you take your shower cap and you just put it, and the nice thing about it, some people use like plastic bags, but see, I like the shower cap because it's
plastic.
Yeah. So it keeps the moisture in, and there's your little greenhouse. And these things are usually root in a couple of weeks. In at least a month, you've got a rooted cutting. And the way you can tell if it's rooted, let me just bring over one of these others. This is the coleus. Let's look at that one. Okay. Now this one I took a week ago as well, and I believe I pulled this one up just to see if it had rooted. And I believe I saw a root. Now if you want to test if one's rooted, you just tug on it a little bit. You don't pinch the stem, because if you grab it at the foliage up here, if you pinch it or break it off, it'll probably grow another leaf. It's not going to grow another stem if you pinch it too. And then I usually get something that I can go in and sort of prise it up instead of just pulling it.
Smart.
Yeah, so that way we're not breaking off.
Does it have?
Oh, well, no, I broke it off.
Uh-oh.
I broke off my root. But if you look at it, you can see tiny little root initials, which are little bumps all along the stem. So it won't be long.
Okay.
But it did have a root on it before I got here. I got a little vicious with it, I guess, when I pulled it out the first time.
Let me ask you this. So what's the best way to water those, though?
I have not had to water them for a week because you get condensation inside this thing. And another thing, good point, another thing, you keep them out of the sun, obviously, because you're going to bake them. You put them in a little shady kind of area of the garden, or I just keep them on the back steps of my patio, which is shaded. And so, it'll, in just no time at all, this plant will transpire, and this will start getting moisture all built up in it.
Okay.
And so I have not had to water it for a week. Now, there may be a time that I will before it roots, but, I mean, obviously you can see the soil and it's wet. So as long as it's wet, I don't worry about it. Okay. But there's another little way. If you don't travel and collect your shower caps, but if you drink soda pop,
oh boy,
you can just cut one of these 2-liter soda. I don't know if that's the right one. I think this one went on this one. But, you know, you can get the clear bottles. You know, you got to pick your brand so that it's a clear bottle usually. I mean, you can get a green bottle, but, you know, I like the clear ones because I want to be able to see my plant, see what it's doing. Sure. So I cut the top off, and that's your little impromptu funnel you can use, you know, so you might want to keep that. And then this is your little greenhouse, and you just, you know, just basically stick it down, you know, and kind of twist it a little bit to make it a little airtight as you can. And then there's your little greenhouse. So it's really easy. It's not a big, you know, not a big thing. And then when they root, oh, and here's my hibiscus. Right. So this was one of the hibiscus that I stuck in there, and I brought that from a neighbor. I don't have tropical hibiscus. Mine are hardy hibiscus. Okay. So I had to go over to the neighbor and you know, really kind of snuck over and took some cuttings. I was actually pruning. It needed pruning. Okay. But anyway, I took some cuttings. By the time I got back to the house, it had wilted. And I'm thinking, because it didn't have water or anything, so I'm thinking, man, I don't know if that'll make it. But I got it quickly, and I did my little greenhouse thing, and within a day, it had straightened up. How about that? So it was, and see, these are, and I had these on here till I got here, so see, you can see the moisture that's collected in there. You know, that keeps it moist until the roots come out. Right. And then when it has rooted, then you can take it inside in the little pot, or you can repot it, or you can do whatever. But the trick is to put it, you know, in the right place in the house to get it through the winter, because it's not going to just grow like crazy, because, you know, it's not going to get exactly the right conditions probably, unless you've got a greenhouse you could put it in. You probably want to put it in a window that could get some really good, you know, early morning light or middle afternoon light, and it'll probably do just really, really, really well, you know, through the winter. And then you can take it out in the spring, and by the this time of year, you can just do the cycle over again and perpetuate. Like that, you know, like perpetuate your favorite plants, you know. And if you've got some of these cultivars of some of these coleus, you know, you find one, and there was one called Arkansas Sunset several years ago that they quit having now, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It was like orange and yellow, and, you know, looked like a sunset. Right. And you can't find it anymore. And I've had several people ask me, you know, where can we find it? So that's a way to keep the plants that, you know, that sometimes they discontinue to offer. Okay. You know, keep them going. Your heirlooms. Yeah, sure is. You know. So.
We appreciate that. That's good stuff, because if you like me, at the end of the season, it's like, oh man, I hate to take that out of the ground because I can't take, you know, I can't bring it in the house.
And as horticulture people, we get asked that sometimes. Sure. I got this favorite plant, you know, and it's tender, and I don't have room for it to drag it in. You know, what can I do to propagate it? You know, and some of them will even root in water, but I like to put them in soil because
I think that's good.
Yeah, just seems to work better for me.
All right, thanks for that good information.
Sure,
we appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's easy to be attracted to beautiful flowering baskets for summer color, and Mandevilla is a great choice for it. It's a long season of flower with low maintenance. Watering is the real challenge for being successful with these hanging baskets often, because they can dry out very quickly. Use your finger if you can reach the basket to test if that soil is starting to dry out, then water it again and water thoroughly, let it drain out of the bottom. If it's too high and you can't reach it, try lifting it with a broomstick to tell when it's light, it's thirsty. When it's heavy, that it probably doesn't need any more water. Also, as the season changes and you have more foliage and it gets hotter, you might need to have more water to it. And in reverse, as the days become shorter and nights begin to cool as we get toward fall, you may need to reduce those watering needs. Also remember that if you're doing that much watering in this small container, a good little fertilizer boost midsummer would be a great thing to do.
All right, here's our Q&A session. Y'all ready for this? It's good questions we have here. Here's our first via email. We have lots of voles. Help! How can we get rid of voles without using poisons? And this is from Debbie via Facebook. So she has lots of voles, but she doesn't want to use poison. All right, Walt, I hear you over there, son.
Well,
oh boy.
Let me ask another question.
Go ahead.
I get asked a lot.
Okay.
People ask me, what is a vole?
Okay, all right.
And it's actually a little mouse-like critter that doesn't have a tail. And they tend to, they're pretty much nocturnal. Of course, they stay on the ground. But I will be honest with you, without poison, I find it pretty difficult to probably kill them out. if you could get you a good cat or dog or something like that, that could maybe dig off in there and catch them.
And trapping doesn't work real easily,
Yes.
Yeah,
and
not-
then you've
not
got
too easily.
repopulations. You get a few, and then you've got a repopulation back. So
Yes.
it's hard to control them in a garden setting because they do stay in they run tunneling
Right.
through mulch.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And you need mulch.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
They can
just,
run mold
Oh, yeah,
tunnels.
they
That's why
can.
they run the mold tunnels.
Yeah.
Right.
And the way you'll have them also, you'll see a bunch of little old holes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
About the size, I would say maybe a silver dollar.
Yeah.
If people even see silver dollars now. But it's about that size. I also have a problem with them with my apple trees that I have because they like to suck on those roots. And I can kind of tell sometimes when they get in big numbers. So I usually use the poison products to kind of
Right.
knock them
The
back.
anticoagulant
Yes, because I
pills.
don't have a cat or a dog. So.
Right.
Well, and two, if she's worried about poisoning a pet, if you'll put it down in the hole, like you said,
Yes.
and that's the way I do. I'll just put them.
Right.
Again, it's only a stopgap.
Right.
Because you'll just kill a few, and then if it rains,
Yeah,
your
right.
poison's pretty well diluted.
That's right,
Because you
that's
usually use
right.
those pellets or something.
Right, they're
That's
little
right.
pellets, and I
Yeah.
usually tell folks, put on a glove.
Yeah.
Use a
Yes, yes.
spoon and then put
Just
it down.
put
in
it
the
down
hole.
in there.
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
If you want to do that. And
Yeah.
something else, Doc, we talked about it earlier. If folks will quit killing the snakes, they'll actually help us out a
Exactly,
little bit.
yeah.
Yes,
Those
yes,
beneficial
yes.
snakes.
Yeah, we're talking about good snakes.
Right.
We're not talking about the bad snakes.
Right.
We're talking about rat snakes, king snakes,
Uh-huh.
garter,
Yes.
snakes,
Garter snakes.
those that are non-poisonous, that they help us. They're a good thing in the garden because
Right.
they help us keep the vermin down.
Definitely
She could
is.
move away to a vole-free area, which I don't know where that would be.
Yes, I don't
y'all.
know where that would be right now.
All right, Miss Debbie, so there you have it. Hope we answered your question there. Here's our next viewer email. What kind of weed is this and how do I get rid of this? And this is Mr. Lou, South Haven, Mississippi. Oh, thank you, Mr. Lou. All right, so what kind of weed is this? And we actually talked a little bit about this. I actually think that's Dallas grass, okay? Now, most folks are used to seeing the seed stalk.
Right.
But of course, there's no seed stalk there. But I'm just looking at the growth, grows in clumps or bunches again. And I was looking at the edges, of those blades. So I tend to think that is Dallas grass, okay?
This
Now,
obviously is in her turf, I guess,
it's
right? It's
obviously in a turf,
Yeah.
right?
So she's keeping it mown, so we probably can't really identify it 100%
Right,
unless we can
right.
actually be on site and see a seed head.
and it
or
would be
something.
good if we could do that.
Yeah,
the picture
yeah.
was, was good, but yeah, if we can
But the controls are kind
get a better
of
picture.
the same for some of the weedy plants in turf. So
Right, and usually for, of course, Dallas grass, again, MSMA is what was used to
Yeah.
control
Yes.
Yeah.
Dallas grass. You can't get your hands on MSMA anymore. So you have to go with quinclorac. And that's what you will find in most of your products that will say controls crabgrass. It's quinclorac. So you just read the label
And
on
it'll
that.
control
use
the
that.
Dallas grass
It'll
as well.
control the Dallas grass. It's going to be multiple applications. Dallas grass is tough
It's a pretty
to
tough
control.
one.
Again, grows in clumps, produces by rhizomes and seed.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty tough, Mr. Lou. All right, here's our next viewer email. What is this white fuzzy stuff on my cucumbers? The leaves are wilting. It's on most of the new blossoms, and this is from Mike in Madison. So, we want to start with that. What do you think that was?
Well, when I see the picture, it look like I'm seeing a disease called gummy stem blight. And usually products that contain chlorothalonil will usually take care of it. Because I'm going by those lesions that I'm seeing right there on the stems.
Right.
And I do know that gummy stem blight affect cucurbit crops big time. So, and obviously cucumbers is in that cucurbit family along with watermelons. As a matter of fact, I see it a lot in watermelon plantings is where I see this disease a lot.
Okay. Yeah, those tan spots, on the stems is, is
Yeah.
why I thought it was that. I don't know of anything else that could be. Did you think of anything
well,
else,
that's
Doc?
sclerotinia. That
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
That
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah,
But I think
sclerotinia.
chlorothalonil probably will
Yes.
get that as well. I'm not
Yes.
sure, but probably.
It will.
Because chlorothalonil is pretty broad spectrum.
It is.
Yes.
So chlorothalonil, which is Daconil,
Right.
or any of your copper-based fungicides.
Right.
Yes.
Should do the trick as well. Sulfur, can be used as well, but just read the label on those. Will it kill the plant though?
Severe infestations, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
it will.
if his
it will-
leaves are already wilting, too,
Yes.
that doesn't sound too
Yes,
good.
it's over.
And it's not going to have many fruits because it's on the blossoms. And
Yeah.
of course,
Right.
the fruits
Yeah.
are gonna come from
So
the blossoms.
this
Yeah.
might be one you might say, hey, I need to start over.
Yeah.
Or just, this is it.
Go to the farmer's market and just buy him some fresh cukes from the farmer's
Right.
market.
Right. All right, Mike. So we hope that helps you out. So Dr. Kelly, well, we're out of time. It's been fun.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Been good.
Remember, we love to hear from you. Send us an email or letter. The email address is familyplot@wkno.org, and the mailing address is Family Plot, 7151 Cherry Farms Road, Cordova, Tennessee 38016. Or you can go online to familyplotgarden.com. That's all we have time for today. Remember, you can find all sorts of gardening advice and information online at familyplotgarden.com. We also have links to extension publications for everything we talked about on the show. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Cooper. Be sure to join us next week for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South. Be safe.